I was young when I left home, but I've been out rambling round. But I never wrote a letter to my home, Lord, Lord, to my home.
A little while back we caught up with Ciel from Montgomery Church. Well, we've got to complete the double now, and James joins us to talk about their new single, I Was Young When I Left Home. James, thanks for joining us to talk about this cover of a Bob Dylan, and it's fair to say a little bit of an unknown song, James.
Yeah, I mean, for as many songs as he's done that people know, he's probably done at least that many again that fall by the wayside. He's pretty prolific.
How did you find it?
This is a song that we saw. There was a live concert filmed that was based around the soundtrack of a Coen Brothers film called Inside Llewyn Davis. It was all about kind of the folk movement of the 60s when Dylan came up, and it was actually Marcus Mumford that did a solo rendition of this. I thought it might work well for us, and it turns out it did, so ended up on the album.
So when you make a decision to cover a big artist like Dylan, who's done so many, it's fraught with danger because you've got the big hits that everyone knows, and then the fanatics know these sort of songs, don't they?
I feel like one of the rules we go into is if we can't bring something to it that artist didn't already bring out, then it's probably not worth doing. If you're not adding something to it, then you can pull it out as a show, but if you're going to record it and put it out, then you've got to be doing something different to it. Just having Ciel's vocal on it, she's certainly different to Bob Dylan in her vocal approach. So I think that kind of started us on a good footing there.
When people listen to the likes of Eva Cassidy, the way she took songs and made them her own, it was a big risk for her. But when you do it correctly, it actually works out beautifully, and it does tell a different story of the original, the way it was sent out to be. And I think that's what you've done here with I Was Young When I Left Home. It seems to have brought it back. And again, you've got a girl singing it as well, but it just brings it into a whole different meaning and feelings that come through with it.
That's good of you to say. Thank you. And I feel like the good songs, and particularly Dylan's, that can be sometimes pretty abstract, they can be interpreted so many different ways, and it comes down to how the singer approaches it, you're right. And also, everyone in the crowd can hear it a different way as well. They're worth reinterpreting.
Last time we spoke to Ciel, we spoke about how you guys got together and so forth. But James, tell us about what got you involved in music personally.
I just really wanted to play guitar when I was young. Mum and Dad got me a guitar for Christmas. I was about 7 or 8. There was a teacher at the conservatorium in Bathurst where I grew up who was teaching folk fingerstyle guitar, so I just got hooked on it. And so I was playing ever since then. Even when I kind of stopped doing lessons with him, it was always something that I just had. I was a bit of an introvert like a lot of musos, and was just the type of person who was happy sitting in my room figuring something out, for hours on end. It just grew from there.
When we listen to the tracks, James, we're hearing a lot of different instruments on them. How many instruments do you play, and how many are you guys actually playing on your tracks?
On the album as a whole, we're playing almost all the tracks. Our producer, Sid Green, did a few light touches of percussion and bits and pieces, but sometimes in recording you just bring out anything that you can make happen to get a sound on there, And I wouldn't call myself a bass player or necessarily an electric guitarist, but I can make do for the sake of a sound that needs to get on the record. Sometimes that's just what happens. So dobro is my main instrument. I'd say I can reliably cover a dobro, an acoustic guitar, and sometimes a mandolin.
And the spoons. Maybe we can throw some spoons in there or something. Or put a triangle.
If we're going to throw spoons in, spoons is probably Ciel's area.
It is now.
Group's called Montgomery Church. They became a Golden Guitar finalist just recently, and we look forward to seeing and hearing more music from them. We're going out with the single now, I Was Young When I Left Home. And if you like what they've done with this song, why not get in touch with them on all their social media? Get back to James and Ciel and let them know. And maybe there's even a request for next time, and buy a copy of their music. This is Montgomery Church, and I Was Young When I Left Home.
I will pawn my watch and chain and go home. Go home, Lord, 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 Lord. I will pawn my watch and chain and go home.